It's not your camera, it's not your lens, it's you. I learned the hard way that expensive gear cannot fix bad habits, but if you avoid these 7 mistakes, even your iPhone 11 footage could look cinematic. Tip number 3 is the biggest giveaway that your footage looks amateur. And make sure you stay to the very last point because that's the most important one. Blown out highlights and overexposure in the edit is god awful. It looks terrible when the sky looks completely white. And then if you're exposing for shadows and you're not exposing for the highlights and then you're raising exposure in post, it just looks terrible, bro. It does not look realistic at all. I don't know why people keep on doing that in posting, asking if this is stout. It's not. You could also lower the whites in post or lower the highlights as well, just so you can regain some dynamic range. But the most important part is just to nail it in camera, which leads me to my second point: blown out highlights while shooting. Not exposing for highlights while you're shooting fries it. You can probably save it in post, but you might not be able to. Shooting in bright scenes without an ND filter. I have a K&F Concept one. It's a pretty budget friendly one. I think I got it for like 80 bucks Canadian. You should be good with something like that. You can buy the Peter McKinnon one. That's probably what I'm gonna upgrade to soon. If you're not exposing for the highlights while you're shooting, you're gonna lose so much dynamic range in post. So you really wanna make sure you're able to expose for the highlights and not the shadows while you're shooting in camera. Inconsistent color grading is such a big turnoff, and it's a quick way to show that you're an amateur videographer when you don't nail your white balance per location or per shot. Jumping between warm and cool tones within a same singular shot does not make sense. It's unappealing to the eye. It doesn't look realistic. Make sure you just pick a white balance. It could even be wrong and just rock out with it. Keep it consistent and you can change it in post, but just pick one. Every single shot or every single location that I go into each room and I make sure I know what white balance I need. I use a white card, gray card, I use a white wall, whatever the case may be, and I write it down. That's it. So when I do come back to that room or location, I know how to go about it and I'm already prepared. When you nail your white balance for each location, it sets your base LUT to be cohesive and simplistic. It's not going to be jumping all over the place, and it's just going to be very natural and appropriate for the setting. Bad audio is another telltale that you are an amateur videographer. When there's that echo and there's all that background noise, when you could just put noise reduction or voice isolation in post. I don't know why a lot of people don't do that as well, because it's somewhat distracting. Unless you actually put some foley sounds of some crowd chatter in the background and it pertains to the story, then by all means. But if not, just make it very easy for your audience to understand and be immersed within your video, because all these other things are distracting and could lead people to the wrong way. You want people focused on exactly what you want them to be focused on. Like I said earlier, you can add some voice isolation or even reduce reverb in post. There's a lot of ways to go about it to make sure you have better audio, but a lot of people say that they can watch a video with bad visuals, but they can't watch a video with bad audio. When a shooter has poor composition, it shows that you haven't been in business for long, or you're just doing this for shits and giggles and for fun, which is completely okay too. When there's too much headroom, there's awkward spacing and unbalanced shots, and I'm a big fan of rule of thirds, leading lines, and different composition techniques to immerse my viewer. It just shows you're not very intentional with your shots, or maybe the job is a little bit rushed, but take your time, add a different composition techniques to immerse your viewer, reel them in, bring them into your world. This is your art, this is your world, bring them all in. And also along with the composition, not having depth within your visuals is a big telltale, right? So you have to be adding different foreground elements, different background elements. Because you're displaying things on a flat screen, it's 2D. But when you're watching things and in real life, things are three-dimensional. So you want to add that layer of depth, foreground, middle ground, and background to show that things are three-dimensional. People always tell me my videos and my photos look so three-dimensional. It's because I'm actually placing things in those 3 layers. I'm doing that with conviction. This is the last and most important giveaway that you are an amateur videographer, and it's because you have no story or no intent within your visuals. You might have a good video, you might have crispy edits, you might have a great color grade, you might have crazy transitions, but there's no emotional pull and no direction within your video. You always want to ask yourself why you're shooting a shot. You want to be thinking in sequences, not in clips. You want to be thinking what shot comes after a next and how they flow and how they are cohesive. For all the other points previously, I stated that if it doesn't add or pertain to the story, then it's no bueno. So no story and no intent towards your videos is a no-brainer. I'm not sponsored by Millinode or Notion or anything like that, but you can use these different mood boards and you can use ChatGPT to help you with scripting, helping with your shot list, and make it more cohesive if you don't have that creative juices flowing for the day. Sometimes you hit a brick wall, sometimes you get writer's block, sometimes you're just not feeling as creative as you always are. You lack of nutrition, not exercising, not sleeping. Your girlfriend's giving you problems. Who knows, right? Your dukes might be giving you a tough time. There's a lot of things that could happen, right? But you could use these things to organize and collect your thoughts to help you with your visuals. If you do all these things in your pre-production, you're gonna have the foundation for your shoot, and things will be a lot more streamlined when you're shooting. It will accelerate your workflow, and that's what we want, right? We want things to be as easy as possible for us so we can focus on what we need to focus on and accomplish the common goal. If you're working with other people on set, or if you're doing this solo and you're just a solo filmmaker, I have a couple buddies that I hang out with. Shout out to my dog Jam, shout out to my dog Genesis. We work and collaborate with one another on certain vids just to help each other out, give different point of views. So yeah, I suggest you do that. If you are alone, then thug it out, pull your socks up, right? 2026. And these are the 7 biggest mistakes that you are an amateur videographer. If you learn anything, I dropped a little bit of insight or some gems. Drop a like, comment, and smash that subscribe button. Drop a comment if you want me to talk about a certain topic, or you want me to discuss something, or my insight on one of my experiences with whoever I've worked with. Maybe I should drop a video on that. Let me know in the comments. But until next time, peace and blessings.